They say the deadliest ninja was not the one who struck the fastest, but the one who never had to strike at all. His power wasn't in his blade, it was in his mind, silent, patient, unshakable. For centuries, ninjas lived in the shadows of history. To the outside world, they were assassins, spies, masters of disguise. But beneath the myths and smoke bombs lies something far more valuable, a hidden philosophy of mental toughness that allowed them to endure hardship, adapt to chaos, and achieve the impossible without fear. And here's the fascinating part. This ninja code wasn't just about survival on the battlefield, it was a system of transformation, a path that turned ordinary villagers, farmers, and outcasts into warriors of the unseen, men and women capable of facing hunger, isolation, and even death without breaking. But what made them different from the samurai wasn't the sword, it was the mindset. Samurai displayed honor in the open. Ninjas cultivated strength in secret. Theirs was the art of invisibility, not just hiding from enemies, but mastering themselves in silence where nobody was watching. In this video, I'm going to reveal the 4 hidden pillars of the ninja mind, principles that forged shadow warriors into legends and that you can use today to build an inner strength most people never touch. By the end, you won't just understand how ninjas mastered the art of stealth, you'll know how to master the art of yourself. But here's the twist. The ninja way begins not with what you show the world, but with what you hide from it. Your discipline, your private struggles, your invisible victories. That's where true toughness is forged. So the question is, can you live with the same resilience and secrecy as a ninja? Can you walk a hidden path where nobody claps for you, nobody sees your progress, and yet you keep going? This is the forgotten code of the ninja, and it starts with a word most people don't understand. Ninpo, the hidden way of endurance. When people hear the word ninja, they imagine masks, shurikens, and silent assassins leaping across rooftops. But the true foundation of ninjutsu wasn't flashy techniques. It was Ninpo, the hidden way of endurance. Ninpo taught that strength wasn't about speed or violence. It was about outlasting every obstacle. While enemies wasted energy in anger or pride, the ninja endured in silence. Survival itself was victory. Think about it. The samurai sought glory in the open field. The ninja sought patience in the shadows. They weren't trained to die beautifully. They were trained to live, no matter the conditions. That required a different kind of toughness, invisible toughness. Historical records from the Togakure-ryu school describe brutal training. Young initiates were sent into mountains with nothing but a knife, forced to survive days without food, drinking from rivers, and meditating in caves. They learned to remain still for hours, even as insects crawled across their skin. Why? Because control over the body created control over the mind. Some were ordered to stand beneath freezing waterfalls in the dead of winter, the icy water crashing onto their skulls. The pain was unbearable, yet the goal wasn't to resist it. It was to dissolve into it. The ninja discovered a profound truth. When you stop fighting discomfort, it stops controlling you. This is endurance not as suffering, but as transformation. Every hardship became fuel for resilience. Hunger taught focus, cold taught calmness, darkness taught awareness. The world itself was their teacher. Now look at modern life. We've eliminated every difficulty. Too hot? Turn on the AC. Bored? Scroll endlessly. Hungry? Delivery in 20 minutes. Each convenience weakens the mind. Your tolerance for discomfort shrinks until the smallest inconvenience feels unbearable. But the ninja knew the opposite truth. Every struggle endured makes you stronger. Every challenge avoided makes you weaker. Hattori Hanzo, one of the most legendary ninjas, was said to survive missions that seemed impossible. Not because he was invincible, but because he could endure conditions that would break ordinary men. His enemies grew exhausted, angry, reckless. Hanzo waited, calm, unshaken. In the end, endurance outlasted strength. So how do you practice Ninpo in your own life? You don't need mountains or waterfalls. You need honesty. Ask yourself, what do you avoid? Cold showers? Long silence? Difficult conversations? loneliness? Whatever you run from is your dojo. Choose one discomfort and commit to it daily for 100 days. Not once. Not when you feel motivated. Every single day. This is how ordinary actions become extraordinary transformations. If you avoid discomfort, start small. Take a cold shower each morning. If you avoid confrontation, have one difficult conversation daily. If you avoid silence, sit in meditation for 20 minutes without distraction. Don't think about it. Don't negotiate with yourself. Just do it. At first, your mind will scream to quit. That's exactly when Ninpo begins, because each time you keep going, you carve a deeper channel of endurance into your mind. After 100 days, you'll no longer fear difficulty. You'll welcome it, like the ninja welcomed the cold, the hunger, and the darkness. Here's the paradox most people miss. True endurance doesn't make life easier. It makes you stronger, so difficulty no longer matters. You stop waiting for comfort to return. You realize you no longer need it. This is the first pillar of the ninja mind. Endurance in silence. Not chasing glory. Not seeking applause. Just building a strength that no one sees but everyone feels. And once endurance becomes your foundation, you unlock the next secret. Shinobi no Kokoro, the mind of the ninja. If Ninpo is the body of endurance, then Shinobi no Kokoro, the mind of the ninja, is its heart. Because a ninja's greatest weapon was never his blade. It was his ability to think differently, to stay calm while others panicked, to see opportunities where others saw dead ends. The word shinobi itself carries the meaning to endure, but also to conceal. The ninja mind was trained to remain hidden, not just in forests and shadows, but in thoughts and emotions. Imagine standing before an enemy, your pulse racing, fear clawing at you. A samurai might roar into battle, wearing his emotions openly. A ninja? He would show nothing. No anger, no fear. His mind became a mask stronger than steel. Historical texts on ninjutsu describe exercises of mental patience. Apprentices were forced to wait motionless for hours, sometimes in sweltering heat, sometimes in freezing nights, sometimes while their masters deliberately tested them with distractions. The lesson was simple. A restless mind betrays you faster than a loud footstep. Hattori Hanzo, one of the most legendary ninja leaders, was famous not only for his skill in combat, but for his strategic genius. There are stories of him infiltrating enemy castles without being detected, manipulating rival clans against each other, and winning battles before a sword was even drawn. His secret wasn't strength, it was clarity. He saw what others missed because his mind was trained to remain still, observant, and calculating. And this isn't just history. Neuroscience now confirms what the ninja already knew. When your mind reacts emotionally to stress, your vision narrows, your judgment collapses, and you make poor decisions. But when you control your emotions, you gain perspective. You see solutions others can't. So how does Shinobi no Kokoro apply to your life? Look at your daily battles, that coworker who annoys you, that friend who betrays you, that sudden crisis that sends you into panic. Most people react immediately, snapping back, lashing out, losing control. The ninja approach is different. Step back, breathe, wait. When you don't react, you create space. And in that space, clarity is born. Try this. The next time someone pushes your buttons, pause before responding. Instead of defending your ego, ask, what's really happening here? What does this moment teach me? That pause is your mask. That pause is your power. Another lesson from Shinobi no Kokoro is adaptability. Ninjas were survivalists. They could disguise themselves as monks, merchants, farmers, even performers. They blended into any environment, bending instead of breaking. In life, adaptability is mental toughness in disguise. Lose your job? The rigid mind collapses. The ninja mind adapts, seeing new paths. A relationship ends? Most drown in grief. The ninja mind learns, redirects, and grows. The ninja proverb says, "The bamboo that bends is stronger than the oak that resists." That is Shinobi no Kokoro. Rigidity looks strong but shatters under pressure. Flexibility looks weak but survives storms. Modern life constantly tests us. Unexpected bills, lost opportunities, sudden chaos. You can't stop the storm, but you can train your mind to bend without breaking. That is the way of the Shinobi mind. When you master Shinobi no Kokoro, you gain a kind of invisible armor. People wonder how you stay calm in chaos, how you keep moving forward when others freeze. They can't see the training, they only see the results. This is the second pillar of the ninja mind: mental clarity and adaptability. The ability to remain still when others are restless and to move when others are stuck. But there's a deeper level still. Because a ninja's true growth didn't happen in safety. It happened in the shadows of solitude, in secret training where nobody was watching. That's where we go next. Kage no Shugyō, training in the shadows. The ninja was a paradox, invisible yet unstoppable. What gave them this power wasn't what they showed the world, but what they did in secret. This was called Kage no Shugyō, training in the shadows. Unlike the samurai who trained openly in dojos under their master's eyes, ninjas prepared in solitude, in silence, and often in places designed to test their limits. A cave, a forest, a mountain ridge at midnight. Their strength was built not in applause, but in obscurity. The lesson is clear. What you practice in secret becomes who you are in public. Historical accounts from the Iga and Koga clans tell us that ninjas often rehearsed in complete darkness, practicing their steps until they could move silently without sight. They learned to fight not only when conditions were perfect, but especially when they weren't. Their enemies expected certainty. Ninjas trained in uncertainty. Some would spend nights alone in abandoned shrines, meditating until every creak, every whisper of wind became familiar. Others practiced breath control so they could hold still for hours, hiding underwater with nothing but a reed to breathe through. No one was watching. No one was keeping score. Yet these were the moments that built their unshakable edge. Modern life almost never gives us true shadows. We're always visible, always online, always performing. Every workout is posted, every achievement shared. But here's the truth. What you post builds your image. What you do in secret builds your character. Think about it. Do you only study when the exam is near? Do you only train when someone notices? Do you only act disciplined when there's recognition? That's not training, that's performance. And performance crumbles without an audience. Kage no Shugyō demands the opposite. It demands habits no one will ever praise you for. Reading when nobody sees. Practicing when nobody cares. Resisting temptations not because you'll be rewarded, but because that's who you are becoming. One of the great ninja sayings is, "When nothing is seen, everything is prepared." This captures the essence of shadow training. You don't wait for the challenge to appear. You build yourself quietly so that when the storm arrives, you're already unshakable. So how do you apply Kage no Shugyō today? Start with this. Choose one practice you will never tell anyone about. Maybe it's journaling every morning. Maybe it's meditating before sunrise. Maybe it's finishing every workout with an extra set, even when nobody will ever know. Keep it secret. Protect it. That's your shadow training. And here's a powerful modern example. Elite athletes often credit their hidden routines as their true advantage. The shots they take in empty gyms. The laps they run when no coach is watching. The recovery work nobody claps for. By the time they step into the spotlight, they've already won in the shadows. You can do the same in whatever field you pursue. Because here's the paradox. The most powerful habits are the ones nobody sees. They don't feed your ego. They feed your foundation. And over time, the results become undeniable. People will wonder how you remain calm under pressure, why you succeed when others fail, how you seem so steady. They won't realize it came from the invisible hours, the hidden work, the shadow discipline. This is the third pillar of the ninja mind, training in the shadows, the unseen hours that make you unbreakable. But shadows alone are not enough. The ninja also mastered rituals of the spirit, mental seals that gave them focus, clarity, and power in moments of chaos. This brings us to the final secret. Kuji-in, the 9 cuts of the mind. By now, we've seen how ninjas built endurance through Ninpo, cultivated clarity through Shinobi no Kokoro, and forged resilience through Kage no Shugyō. But there was one final layer to their training, one that transformed them from mere fighters into warriors of spirit. This was Kuji-in, the 9 cuts of the mind. To outsiders, Kuji-in looked mystical. Ninjas would form complex hand seals, pressing fingers together in strange patterns while chanting mantras. To many, it seemed like superstition, magic, or ritualized prayer. But to the ninja, it was something far more practical, a system to focus the mind, regulate the breath, and summon inner strength in moments of danger. Each of the 9 seals represented a mental state: strength, direction, healing, energy, intuition, awareness, control, creation, and enlightenment. Together, they formed a complete map of mental power. When mastered, the ninja could enter these states instantly, sharpening focus, calming fear, or awakening courage at will. For example, one seal was used before entering battle, channeling the mindset of unwavering determination. Another was used to steady the breath, creating calm under pressure. Others trained intuition, teaching the ninja to trust subtle signals from the environment to sense danger before it struck. Was this magic? Number. Modern science now shows the same results through mindfulness, visualization, and breathing techniques. But the ninja discovered it centuries ago. They encoded mental discipline into symbolic rituals that made the invisible mind tangible through the body. Imagine this. Before infiltrating an enemy fortress, a ninja would stop in the shadows, form the seal for focus, slow his breathing, and visualize success. His body still trembled from the cold, his heart raced with fear, but his mind cut through the chaos like a blade through silk. That's the power of Kuji-in. So how do you apply this today? You don't need to memorize hand seals. What you need is a ritual, a trigger that tells your brain, now I enter a different state. For athletes, it's tying their shoes the same way before every game. For soldiers, it's repeating a short phrase before battle. For you, it might be 3 deep breaths before a meeting, or writing 1 sentence in your journal before starting work. The key is consistency. A ritual becomes a bridge between who you are now and who you must become in that moment. Over time, your brain associates the ritual with strength, focus, and calmness, and it activates automatically. The ninja understood this deeply. Their rituals weren't empty gestures. They were keys, unlocking doors in the mind that most people never open. And here's the hidden truth. Kuji-in wasn't about becoming superhuman. It was about becoming fully human, about using every layer of the mind, conscious, subconscious, and instinctive, to face life without hesitation. This is the 4th pillar of the ninja mind: mental ritual and spiritual focus, the ability to summon strength, clarity, and courage on command. When you put all 4 pillars together, Ninpo, Shinobi no Kokoro, Kage no Shugyō, and Kuji-in, you don't just have a philosophy, you have a complete path of transformation. But the question remains, how do you live like a ninja today, in a world of comfort, distraction, and noise? That's where our conclusion takes us, the modern ninja way. You've now uncovered the 4 hidden pillars of the ninja mind: Ninpo, the way of endurance; Shinobi no Kokoro, the clarity and adaptability of the mind; Kage no Shugyō, the discipline of training in the shadows; and Kuji-in, the rituals of focus and inner strength. Together, these form more than techniques. They form a path, one that transformed outcasts and wanderers into legends who shaped history. But here's the truth. This path was never meant to stay in the past. It was meant to be lived here and now. Because the battles you face today are not with swords or arrows. They're with distraction, weakness, and comfort. They're with the voice that tells you to quit when things get difficult. And the ninja way teaches us something profound. The real enemy is not outside you. It's inside you. So how do you live as a modern ninja? Start small. Choose one practice from each pillar. Endure one discomfort daily. That's Ninpo. Train your patience when life tests you. That's Shinobi no Kokoro. Build one hidden habit no one will ever know about. That's Kage no Shugyō. Create one ritual that anchors your focus. That's Kuji-in. Do this for 100 days, and you'll begin to feel it. A strength nobody else can see, but everyone around you can sense. That invisible calm, that quiet power. It will set you apart in a world addicted to noise and weakness. The ninja didn't need recognition. They didn't need applause. Their power came from walking a hidden path with absolute commitment. You can do the same. And remember this, tomorrow's battles are decided by today's training. If you choose comfort, you've already lost. But if you choose discipline, you've already won, no matter what comes. So ask yourself, will you live like everyone else, waiting for easy moments that never arrive? Or will you walk the hidden path, building a strength nobody can take away? The choice is yours. The path of the ninja begins not tomorrow, not next week. It begins right now. And if you're ready to take that step, join me on this journey. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and let's continue to uncover the forgotten codes of ancient wisdom, to transform not just how we think, but who we are.